So we've just probably had the biggest pause on what is, I think, quite rightly being called the dumbest trade war in history. Trump obviously put on pause his tariff, or is this trade war on the tariffs he was going to put on Mexico and Canada, being about 25%. This obviously because the markets opened on Monday, and well, everything was basically taking a tumble, including the US economy. So, as I very, very much have been predicting, I think Trump was getting a lot of calls over the weekend saying, Don, what on earth are you doing? This is dumb. However, the only tariffs that did actually get so far at least put in place were, of course, the ones on China. Those are the 10% ones that he's put on them. So, China, of course, is going to retaliate. And remember, last time this happened, as we talked about previously in our last video, Trump had to bail out US farmers. Like, he had to bail out US farmers because China just started tariffing US agricultural imports. And that hurt American farmers quite a lot, to the point, as we said, Trump had to bail them out. But now this is even more. And I think China's response this time, from at least from what we know, looks like it is going to be quite more specific. I haven't seen any of the specifics yet. Obviously, I'm doing this the day before, so it's very likely maybe today, maybe even next week as well, we will see a lot more exactly what they are going to do and what exactly they're going to be targeting as well. But if history is anything to go by, what you do is you target red states. And if you target those red states, those Republican senators, those Republican congressmen, they start to scream because all their businesses are starting to get annoyed at them and, thinking, well, I'm just going to go maybe go into a blue state, maybe. So that will, I think, certainly cause a lot of problems for Trump. We'll see how long in his second administration he goes on this tariff thing. Maybe he'll eventually get bored with these, just as he did last time, of course. But we'll see. As we've said before, this Trump 2.0 White House is proving quite unpredictable, as we are now going to talk about potentially how Britain might actually manage to escape Trump's temper tantrum or temper tariff tantrums. Um, but we have at least two secret weapons we can really lean on to try and appease Trump for at least the time being. Well, actually, three on this as well. But before we get, of course, talking more about this, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. Down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the organization link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there is the Pony Club down below as well. You can always hit the like and share button as well. So, what are our three secret weapons we in the UK have against Trump? And the first, I think, is something that we are still quite good at, world renowned for: British diplomacy. Like, still in around the world, British diplomacy is still regarded to be pretty good, pretty like top level, even after Brexit. We are still quite well regarded in international diplomatic circles that, the British, they can really talk a good game. They can get lots of stuff done diplomatically. That is soft power. Britain still has that in spades. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people over the past couple of days have been really digging and having a go at Keir Starmer for kowtowing to Trump. But I'll tell you this now. What do you think Starmer should have done? Because he has got, if he manages to avoid these tariffs, mission accomplished. And all it took was a quick bend of the knee and a couple of, promises. And you've soothed Trump's ego. We saw that during the last Trump administration, that if you soothe Trump's ego, that if you're willing to sort of give it a little massage, he ignores you. He goes away. He gets fixated on something else. He magpies onto something else. And I'll tell you this now: if Keir Starmer has done that, managed to massage his ego, and we avoid those tariffs, hey, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. And I'll tell you all the people now having a go at Keir Starmer for, for like bending the knee. Hey, if it avoids those tariffs, hey, that's some good diplomacy at work right there. However, of course, we do have two other secret weapons that we can really, of course, deploy against Trump. Right now, at the moment in time, the UK is going through very, very much a transitionary period, trying to sort of get away from, burning more fossil fuels. So you see the North Sea, we are putting less and less, oil expansion drilling licenses on there. It is, as everyone universally agrees, the North Sea getting ever, ever more expensive to extract, natural gas and oil from there, meaning it is becoming just completely uneconomical even more. Of course, this puts problems on our oil and gas industries as well, but that's a separate problem. Maybe we'll discuss that for another time. But what we need to do now is to make that transition to, net zero. And one of those big, transition things we will definitely absolutely need to do is sort of nuclear stuff. And that is sort of what we are seeing being done as well. However, there is, of course, that period of where we are now to where we would like to be. And that is a transition period. And during that period, of course, you've got a lot of LNG in America. And Trump would love it if we were to suddenly start buying more, LNG. And bear in mind, during the Biden period, we have bought more American gas, LNG from America. That has been something that we've done during the Biden administration because we've needed it. And if we say to Trump, well, hey, don't put these tariffs on us, we'll buy some more, American gas. Well, okay, that will placate Trump. We know Trump is a very transactional person, right? We'll buy more stuff. You don't put the tariffs on us. Hey, that's good. Now, I would much prefer to see a pipeline from here over to Norway to get the Norwegian gas, because it would be certainly a lot more better economical and even a lot better for environmentally as well, even though it is gas. For that's for sure. But hey, again, secret weapon we can certainly deploy, of course, against Trump on that one. I think Trump would be pretty happy if the UK started buying more American energy, especially sort of LNG stuff on that. However, I have also talked about what the other alternative is with Canada before in our little live stream we discussed not that too long ago. So, there are alternatives, but it's one at least secret weapon. Of course, the final one we have is, believe it or not, the F-35. So the UK is a partner in the F-35 program, as are most people who are looking at the F-16 now as being a bit of an old sort of jet, wanting to sort of transition into the new sort of next generation um, jet that is sort of going to be out there. And we currently, I think, have 50 something. I think we've got like 54, 53 currently F-35s, I believe, in service. However, we pledged to buy some more, but I don't think it's ever really gone through. However, of course, currently Labour is doing a defence review, mostly because the last, well, Conservative defence review involved this heavy pivot to the east. It didn't really make a lot of sense, especially, of course, given immediately after it was released, it was pretty much trashed and undermined by, of course, the invasion of Ukraine. And if anything, that has shown things like the F-35, having those is going to be probably very beneficial to us. So, tell you what, if we say, okay, Trump, we're going to buy some more F-35s from America, it fits into our defense, plan and strategy as well. Hey, job done. And guess what? Placates Trump, meaning once again, we've escaped potentially those Trump tariffs. So those are just, three things so far that I think ways we could maybe sneak around those Trump tariffs. I do think maybe there's a couple of other things as well. For example, you could just say, oh, we'll sign a free trade agreement with you, and then basically just keep these negotiations ongoing indefinitely. you know, just say, "Oh yeah, we're still hashing out the finer details." Meanwhile, of course, all you're doing is you just dragging, stalling for time until basically Trump leaves office. Um, that's another thing that we could absolutely do as well. Just stall for time. Um, you know, if Trump thinks, well, apparently, as we've already known, and again is being reported again, a lot of people in the Trump White House basically saying we've got, the British economy over a barrel. Well, okay, we'll do a free trade deal with you, and then basically just take over 4 years for Trump to leave the White House to actually start these negotiations. And then, of course, the second he leaves, there you go. Sorry, we're not interested. You know, there's a lot of stuff you could do just to just drag out those negotiations. You could even just go, oh, I know we scheduled like these negotiations start a year ago, but I'm so sorry. It's my grandmother's funeral today. Can we do this again in a year's time? There's all kinds of like delaying discussion tactics that can be deployed. Um, to just drag these negotiations so that basically Trump is basically out of the White House by that point. Um, and at that point, it won't matter. So, hey, let me know what you think down below. But I think there's certainly a ton of stuff we could do for this, even if people are like having a go at Starmer for being quote weak against Trump. I'll tell you what now, if these talks have managed to escape us from those Trump tariff tantrums, then hey, I think bending the knee was entirely worth it, because it is definitely protected the British economy on that front. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we are expecting those tariffs still on the EU. Maybe at some point, we don't know when those are coming, and that's the point where we can maybe see what will happen to us on that front as well. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and of course, as always, let me know what you think down below in the comments, and of course, we'll see you all very soon.